For decades, Audi has dominated motorsport. The four rings have conquered almost every major racing series on the planet, but there's always been one glaring absence from their trophy cabinet: Formula One. That changes this year. After years of speculation and preparation, Audi is finally entering the pinnacle of motorsport. And they're not coming in as a customer team or an engine supplier to someone else. They're building their own works operation from the ground up. This is the story of everything we know about Audi's Formula One project heading into the 2026 season. The journey began back in August 2022 when Audi, part of the Volkswagen Group, announced they would enter Formula One as a power unit manufacturer when the new engine regulations came into force. At the time, many wondered which team would run their engines. The answer came quickly. Sauber, the Swiss team based in Hinwil that had been competing in Formula One since 1993, would become Audi's works partner. But Audi didn't want to just supply engines, they wanted complete control. In 2024, they completed a full takeover of Sauber, acquiring 100% of the team. The historic Sauber name will disappear from the grid this year, replaced entirely by Audi. It's the end of an era for the Swiss outfit, but potentially the beginning of something much bigger. The team will be known officially as Audi Revolut F1 Team. The partnership represents a significant financial injection for the project, though Audi has reportedly invested heavily themselves. Reports suggest the Sauber acquisition alone cost around $600 million, with additional hundreds of millions poured into engine development and infrastructure upgrades. Leading this ambitious project is Mattia Binotto, the former Ferrari team principal, who joined as Chief Operating and Technical Officer in 2024. He oversaw Ferrari's return to competitiveness in the early 2010s and understands what it takes to build a championship-winning operation. Working alongside Binotto is Jonathan Wheatley, who left Red Bull after nearly 2 decades to become Audi's team principal. Wheatley was Red Bull's sporting director during their dominant years, managing race operations for 4 consecutive championship doubles. His experience in running a front-running team is invaluable for an organization that needs to learn quickly. The driver lineup combines experience with raw talent. The experienced Nico Hülkenberg takes the seat, having joined Sauber in 2025 from Haas, bringing 17 years of Formula One experience. His feedback and development skills will be crucial for a new manufacturer finding its feet. Alongside him sits Gabriel Bortoleto, the Brazilian prodigy who tore through the junior categories, being one of the few drivers to win both F3 and F2 in his rookie seasons. He represents the future of the project. If Audi's long-term plan works out, Bortoleto could be their championship contender for years to come. The car itself, designated the Audi R26, made history earlier this month by becoming the first 2026 specification Formula One car to turn laps in public. During a shakedown at Barcelona, both Hülkenberg and Bortoleto got behind the wheel, completing the maximum allowed 200 kilometers of filming day running. The footage and images that emerged revealed several interesting details about the 2022 design philosophy. The car featured a shark fin on the engine cover, a design element that was banned in 2018 but returns under the new regulations. Perhaps more significantly, the Audi showed a double pushrod suspension setup at both the front and rear. This represents a departure from the pull rod front suspension that dominated the previous regulation cycle. The switch makes sense given the new aerodynamic rules, which move away from heavy ground effect and allow for higher ride heights. The heart of the Audi project is their in-house power unit, developed by Audi Formula Racing GmbH in Neuburg, Germany. This is a completely new facility built specifically for Formula One, representing a massive investment in infrastructure and personnel. The 2026 power units represent a dramatic shift in Formula One technology. The electrical component now provides 50% of total power output, up from around 30% in the previous generation. The MGU-H, the complex turbo-mounted motor generator that the team spent years perfecting, has been eliminated entirely. Only the MGU-K remains, but it's been significantly upgraded to produce 3 times more power than before. The engines will run on fully sustainable fuel, a mixture that's completely carbon neutral. This aligns with Audi's broader corporate strategy around sustainability and electrification. The fuel change affects combustion characteristics, requiring entirely new approaches to engine design. Audi has been refreshingly honest about their expectations. Binotto has repeatedly stated that the team is not targeting immediate success. Their goal is to be championship contenders by 2030, not 2026. This long-term thinking is unusual in Formula One, where pressure for instant results often derails promising projects. Building a competitive power unit from scratch is extraordinarily difficult. Honda spent years struggling before finally producing championship-winning engines. Even with unlimited resources, there's no shortcut to the accumulated knowledge that Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull have developed over decades. The chassis side faces similar challenges. While Sauber has existed for over 30 years, the team has never been a consistent frontrunner. Their infrastructure, while solid, doesn't match the resources of the top teams. Audi is investing heavily in upgrades, but transforming a midfield operation into a championship contender takes time. There are reasons for optimism, though. The 2026 regulations represent the biggest rule change in Formula One history. When the playing field gets reset this dramatically, opportunities emerge. Teams that correctly interpret the new rules can leapfrog established competitors. Braun GP did exactly this in 2009, going from near bankruptcy to world champions by exploiting a loophole in the regulations. Audi has one significant advantage. They're starting fresh. Unlike established teams that must unlearn old habits and adapt existing infrastructure, Audi can build everything specifically for the new rules. Their engine development began with the 2026 regulations in mind from day one. Their technical staff was hired specifically for this project. There's no legacy thinking to overcome. Hearing that the Audi power unit came to life for the first time represented years of work finally coming together. The shakedown that followed confirmed the basic systems function correctly, though revealing true performance will have to wait for proper testing. Pre-season testing begins in Barcelona on January 26th, with a 5-day session where each team can run for a maximum of 3 days. Audi will then officially launch their car and livery in Berlin on January 20th, giving fans their first proper look at the team's visual identity. The season opens in Australia on the first weekend of March. By then, we'll have a much clearer picture of where Audi stands relative to the competition. Early indications suggest they might struggle initially, which would align with Binotto's conservative expectations. But in a season where everything is new and nothing is certain, surprises are always possible. What makes Audi's entry particularly significant is what it represents for Formula One's future. A major automotive manufacturer committing billions to the sport validates the new regulations and the direction the series is heading. If Audi succeeds, it could encourage other manufacturers to follow. If they fail, it might discourage future entries. The pressure is real, but so is the opportunity. Audi has conquered every form of motorsport they've entered. Formula One is the final frontier. Whether they can translate their success from Le Mans and elsewhere to the unique demands of Grand Prix racing remains the biggest question of their sporting history. The 4 rings are finally on the Formula One grid. Now we get to see if they belong at the front. In 2024, Audi didn't just complete a standard acquisition, they undertook a strategic transformation of Sauber, turning it from a well-established Swiss outfit into a fully integrated works team. This wasn't merely a change in ownership, it was a complete cultural and operational overhaul. Audi brought in specialists from multiple disciplines, including aerodynamics, powertrain engineering, and race strategy, to build a foundation capable of competing at the very top.